Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. All right. Today we are discussing what happened with Robinhood. Okay. What happened with Robinhood? Okay. So we're going to discuss exactly what happened. A lot of you guys are posting about Robinhood. You're confused. You're like, oh my God. I was restricted with TD Ameritrade and I was restricted with Webull and Fidelity. So what's the big deal with Robinhood and blah, 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 blah. So today we're going to dig deep into it. We're going to talk about exactly what happened and why I'm not a fan of Robinhood. Okay, what are the pros? What are the cons? Hey, Cindy. All right, I didn't announce this live, so I'm not expecting everybody to be on. This is an impromptu live because a lot of you guys are sliding into my DMs and asking me what happened with Robinhood. I don't get it. I heard other brokerages were restricted as well. Okay, so hey Gigi, how are you, Queen? Hello, Rebecca. So I'm gonna give you guys about 2 minutes to hop on because this was unannounced. But today we are talking about what happened with Robinhood. What is the deal with Robinhood? What happened? What is everybody boasting about? What is all this lawsuit stuff that's happening? What is this GameStop, this AMC stuff, right? What is going on? So, all right, I'm going to wait for a couple more people to get on. All right, I know it's Friday night. I'm over here walking and I'm like, you know what? If I get one more DM about this, let me just go live on this. How about I just explain it to everybody? Because you guys are sliding out all up and down my DMs and you're asking me. So it seems like there is no clear picture of what happened with Robinhood. So tag your friends, right? Invite them to the group and I will explain in about a minute. I'm going to explain exactly what happened with Robinhood, okay? And what you should do from here on out. Now, does that mean take Robinhood and throw it away? No, it doesn't mean throw it away. It just means be aware of what's going on. Okay, all right, cool. So first of all, let's talk about the history of Robinhood and my experience with Robinhood, okay? So I started trading back in 2013. So almost 10 years ago. I can't wait. Robinhood was robbing from the rich, but not giving to the poor. Yes, Sharon, that's what I'm talking about. Absolutely. That's exactly what happened, right? So I started trading about 2013. Robinhood came into the game about 2014 or 2015. So about a year or two later after I started trading. Now, when I first started trading, right, there was something called commissions. So whenever you buy a stock, you had to pay about $6.95 or $9.99, whatever the commission was. You had to pay a commission in order to buy a stock, and you also had to pay a commission in order to sell the stock. Now, where does that come from? Type in a 1 if you guys have seen Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, all right? Or any Wall Street movie ever. Whether that's Wolf of Wall Street, whether that's Pursuit of Happiness, whether that's Wall Street with, what's his name? Michael Douglas, right? Type in a 1 if you've ever watched any Wall Street movie ever, including The Pursuit of Happiness. Type in a 1. I don't see any ones yet. Oh, Amanda saw it. Okay, beautiful. All right. So Will Smith in The Pursuit of Happiness was called a stockbroker. Okay, so what was Will Smith's job? Will Smith, his job was to go out there and find stocks at a given price. So back in the 80s and 90s and even early 2000s, if I wanted to buy 10 shares of Apple, I would call up my broker, okay? I would say, hey, Will Smith, hey, listen, I'm trying to buy 10 shares of Apple and I'm only willing to pay $100 per share. So Will Smith would go into the New York Stock Exchange, all right? He would go to the Wall Street in New York, in Manhattan, and he would do his thing and find you 10 shares of Apple, and the most that he was going to pay for them is $100. So Will Smith goes out there, he goes to Wall Street, and he does his thing. He bargains left and right and everything, and he gets you those 10 shares. Then he brings it back to you and says, hey, investor, I just found you 10 shares of Apple at $100. All right, now pay me my commission. So that's what that was. So anytime that you're placing a trade, anytime you were buying and selling a stock, you had to pay a commission because a broker was out there doing the work for you. Now, Robinhood came in, I can't remember the date, maybe 2014 or 2015, and came and changed the game, all right? Their whole mission was to make trading available for people like you and me, right? Because before, trading was just for people who are in suits on Wall Street, like the white guys on Wall Street, right? You probably thought to yourself, investing is for them over there. That's not for me. right? Or I need a couple $1 million before I start thinking about investing. Well, Robinhood came and changed that whole game. He said, no, you can start with as little as $1. You can start with as little as $5. And guess what? We're going to find you shares and we're not going to charge you any commission. How about that? So they completely changed the game. So now everybody, TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, right? Vanguard, all of them, they couldn't compete with no commissions because everybody was flooding to Robinhood because they were able to buy and sell stocks without having to pay commissions, zero commissions. They came up with that whole zero commissions space. So now you're probably asking to yourself, all right, if they're charging zero commissions, so how do they make their money? Exactly. In lies the first problem. All right. And remember, the broker, Will Smith, the way that he was able to not be homeless is because he was making a lot of commissions and he became a millionaire, right? That's how Will Smith became a millionaire in that movie, Pursuit of Happiness. So if nobody was paying him commission, how was he going to make his money? Right? And so that's the problem. Problem number one, Robinhood was never honest about how they made their money. Okay, I understand you changed the game and you're at zero commissions, but where's your money coming from? Right? And so what Robinhood was doing is they were getting paid from market makers. All right. So these are people who control the market. So that's how they were making their money. Okay, which is not necessarily illegal. Because when you're buying and selling a stock, right, there's somebody out there, the transaction is being done by a person, and that person is the one that's making money. So when you look at the bid and the ask price, those of you who are a little more advanced, because this is not a beginner topic, but the bid and the ask price, the difference between the two, right, is how the market maker makes their money, okay? So the bid price is what you sell the stock at. The ask price is what you buy the price at, and the stock at. So bid is what you sell, ask is what you buy. And the difference between the two is how the market maker makes his money. Well, what was happening with Robinhood, although they were charging you zero commission, the bid and the ask price, right, the spread was huge compared to other platforms. And that's why I was trading way before Robinhood was even around. And I saw that whenever I would go on Robinhood, I'm like, wait a minute, Apple is trading on TD Ameritrade at $100. Why is it $102 in Robinhood? Why is there such a difference? You guys are thinking, well, that's only $2. Well, when you're buying 100 shares of Apple, that's $200. When you're buying 1,000 shares of Apple, that's $2,000. When you're buying 10,000 shares of Apple, that's right. That's $20,000. So yes, the bid and ask makes a huge difference. If I can find it on TD Ameritrade or Fidelity for $100, but on Robinhood it's trading at 101 or even $100.50, that little 50 cents makes a difference. But they were not transparent with their users about how they were making their money. That was the first problem. All right. Second problem. All right, who keeps calling me? You guys always do this. Every time I go live, someone decides to either call me or text me. Like, can I finish the live and then we can talk? Okay. Well, hold on. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Sorry about that, guys. All right. The second problem. All right. So back in January and February of last year, okay, what happened was the stock market. Okay. Whenever something is happening, something crazy is happening, like big moves in the market, the SEC, all right, let me type it, SEC, right? The SEC always steps in, right? They want to regulate the market, make sure nobody's tampering or manipulating things. So back in February, when the market was crashing, it wasn't really a crash, it was more a correction, but when it was dropping due to the pandemic, right, a lot of trading had to slow down, and that was on every platform, right? But what happened with Robinhood is they slowed down the trading back in February and March, but they did not bring the systems back up. So a lot of people who are trying to buy the dip, right? Because remember, in February, there was a huge dip, and everybody who was trying to buy the dip could not buy the dip because Robinhood had slowed down the system so much, it wasn't back up in time for people to buy the dip. That was the second issue with Robinhood, all right? Type in a one if you guys are with me so far. So far we talked about how Robinhood changed the game. All right. So good job, Robinhood. But it was not transparent about how it was making their money. Okay. Type in a one if you guys are with me so far. Type in a 0 if you need a little more explanation. The second thing that was wrong with Robinhood is they slowed down their system, right? And back in February of last year, but they did not get it back up in time for everybody to resume trading. All right. Now, everybody, the SEC comes in. It has to regulate. I don't care if you're with Fidelity, if you're with Charles Schwab, you have to follow SEC rules. Just like when I give you guys disclaimers, and I tell you guys, I cannot give you stock advice. I am not your financial advisor. I'm following SEC guidelines. All right. There is no way around that. All right. So now let's fast forward to the pump and dump. Okay. So what is a pump and dump? A pump and dump is when a group of investors like those Reddit and those Wall Street bet individuals come together and say, hey guys, we're going to buy thousands of shares of GameStop tomorrow. We're going to drag up the price. And then when it reaches a certain point, we're going to sell. Right? That, ladies and gentlemen, is very illegal. That is market manipulation. Right? Because the price of a stock is supposed to be aligned with the value of the company. So if you're manipulating the price of the stock, all right, those of you who typed in 0, sorry, I already moved on. So if you need an explanation, you can schedule a 20-minute strategy session with me, and then we can discuss it one-on-one, you and I, for about 20 minutes, okay? All right, so the pump and dump, all right? So what happens is they artificially inflated GameStop, inflated, what was the other one? Bed Bath & Beyond, inflated AMC, and then they decided that whenever it reaches a certain price, they were dumping. That's why it's called a pump and dump, all right? So let's talk about shorting, all right? We're going to bring it all together, but I got to explain everything one by one and bring it all together for you, okay? So shorting, what is shorting a stock? Shorting a stock is a strategy that you use to make when the stock is going down, right? If the stock is going down, you can short it. So how do you do that? You're able to sell the stock without actually owning it. All right, I'm going to repeat that. You're able to sell the stock without actually owning it. So what happens is the broker, all right, the brokerage firm, whether it's TD Ameritrade, whether it's Robinhood, whether it's Fidelity, they lend you the shares, right? They lend you 10 shares. They lend you 100 shares. They lend you 1,000 shares so that you could turn around and sell it to someone, all right? And when the price goes down, you buy it back at the lower price, all right? And then you keep the profit. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that. So if the stock is trading at $100 and you are bearish on the stock, you think the stock is going to go down to $80, you can borrow the shares from Fidelity, from Robinhood, from TD Ameritrade, whatever you're using, right? Borrow 100 shares and say, hey, TD Ameritrade, lend me 100 shares real quick. I'll pay you back. Right? So you sell it to an investor out there in the market, you sell it at 100, and then when the price goes down to 80, you go back and you buy it back and you keep that profit that you're able to make. That $20 difference that goes inside your pocket. Type in a 1 if you guys understand what shorting a stock is. All right? Type in a 1. I'm going to repeat it one last time while you guys type in a 1. All right? So shorting a stock is essentially you're selling a stock without actually owning it. So you're borrowing the stock from your broker. You're borrowing it. You're saying, hey, broker, can you lend me 100 shares so I can go sell it real quick? I'll pay you back. So you sell the stock to some investor out there who's willing to pay $100 for it. And then the stock drops to $80 and you go and you buy it back. And then you give back the shares to whoever lent you the shares. That is shorting the stock. All right. So we talked about shorting the stock. We talked about pump and dump. So whenever a pump and dump is happening, right, usually the stock rises, is inflated, and then the very next couple of days, it drops. So the hedge fund managers who are used to seeing this over and over, because this is not a new phenomenon. This has been around for years. There's movies made about this, right? The Big Short, Wall Street with Michael Douglas, Wolf of Wall Street. They were pumping and dumping all over the place, right? This is nothing new, all right? So whenever somebody sees something and says, ooh, this looks like a pump and dump, so this is rising and rising, let me get ready to short it because I know it's about to drop in the next few days. Do you guys understand that? You guys understand the mindset of the hedge fund investor who's experienced, who's seen this happen over and over? Type in a 1 if you guys understand the mindset of the investor. When they see a stock is being inflated, they're getting ready for it to drop any minute. So they're getting ready to short it. All right? Type in a 1 if you guys understand that. Type in a 1 so if I need to re-explain that. So if you're used to seeing pump and dumps over and over and over again, you see a stock is inflated, is going up out of nowhere for no reason, right? You're anticipating that the next step is that the stock is going to plummet, it's going to go down. So you can take advantage of it, either buy a put option or you can short the stock. So now this is what happened. So what was it called? I wrote in my notes. Melvin Capital? Yes, Melvin Capital. So Melvin Capital saw that GameStop was inflated and it was like, hey boys, all right, everybody, let's round up. GameStop is being inflated. All these Reddit boys out there are buying a whole bunch. So within the next few days, we're expecting the stock to go down. So they borrowed millions of shares from their brokerages, right? Millions. And some of those brokerages, guess what? Was Robinhood. Okay. All right. So now we're starting to put the story together. So they borrowed a whole bunch of shares from all over so they can go out and sell it, anticipating that GameStop would go down. Well, guess what happened next? They borrowed a whole bunch of shares thinking that GameStop was going to go down, and it did not. So now, remember, you're borrowing the share to sell it. You have to give back those shares. So if the stock drops in price, you buy it at a lower price, you get to keep the difference. But if the stock continues to rise, you got to buy it back at that higher price. And that's going to cost you even more money, right? And so now Melvin Capital actually went bankrupt because of that. They lost billions of dollars because they were anticipating that the stock was going to go down, and it kept rising. So, like the classic white boys on Wall Street who want to whine about everything, they called the SEC and said, this is unacceptable. You guys need to do something, right? And so they called the SEC and they said, you guys need to step in because we're losing billions of dollars because of these retail traders out there who are manipulating the market. Meanwhile, they manipulate the market all the time. But, you know, white boys on Wall Street, yeah, privilege, right? They want everything to go their way, okay? So that's what you say, you got to do something about this, right? And so they called the SEC. So what happened? The SEC stepped in, and everybody, whether you were with TD Ameritrade, whether you were with Robinhood, whether you were with Charles Schwab, whether you were with Fidelity, whether you were with Merrill Lynch, and all of us in the group, we were going through this live. Somebody posted, hey guys, my trading platform's not working. And I was like, yeah, me too. Everybody was going through it. So they did this because of the SEC. Okay, not because they wanted to, not because they just wanted to rob from the rich and not give back to the poor. That had nothing to do with it. Everybody, including Robinhood, everybody had to halt trading. But here's the problem. Here's the difference between what Robinhood did versus what everybody else did. So TD Ameritrade sent out a message to everybody who's using margins, okay? So margins is how you're able to borrow money from your broker. So if you don't have the shares to sell it, you can borrow from the broker, but you need a margins account. So everybody who had a margins account, which is a line of credit to be able to borrow money, borrow shares, whatever you want to do, right? They sent a message and they said, hello, everybody. Due to the crazy activities between GME, AMC, and all the other stocks, all right, we are restricting everyone from buying new positions. Okay, but you were able to hold on to your positions and you were able to close them freely. You were able to close them, do whatever you want. But guess what? That's not what Robinhood did. No. Robinhood took it a step further. Number one, they didn't warn anybody. Okay, number one. Number two, they halted trading on everything, not just GME and all the other stocks. And number three, they were taking away shares from people from their portfolio. That is a big no. You do not do that. TD Ameritrade and Charles Schwab let you. They kept trading available. You were able to buy other stocks. If it wasn't GME or AMC or any of those that were part of the pump and dump, you were able to buy any other stocks freely. Yes, everything was slowed down, but that's not anything that had nothing to do with the platform itself. It had everything to do with the SEC. But I bought Apple. I did a trade with the S&P 500, all of that. That was normal. But Robinhood halted trading altogether, and they were removing shares from people's portfolios. And another thing is, when people were ready to sell, because GameStop reached about 300 and something, they were not allowing people to sell at that 300. They were forcing people to sell at a lower price than what it was actually trading at. This is all wrong. Okay, so when you guys are coming on the comments and say, well, TD Ameritrade halted trading, well, Webull halted trading, but they didn't do it like Robinhood, right? Everybody sent out a message and said, hey guys, there's some crazy stuff going on. So in order to protect you and your portfolio, we're only going to allow you to sell the stocks that you already have. The AMC stocks that you already have, the GME stocks that you already have, but you can continue doing trading. You could continue to trade whatever stocks that you want. Robinhood did not do that. All right. That's why they're going through a class action lawsuit. They handled the situation horribly. All right. So now back to my explanation. I've been talking about Robinhood for a while now. Here's the good thing about Robinhood, all right? They came in and changed the game. If it wasn't for Robinhood, you would all be paying about $7, $10 every time you buy a share. Okay, every time you buy something, you'd be paying an extra $10, right? So you would always have to factor in your commission when you're calculating your profits. So Robinhood came and changed the game, and now you're able to trade for free. All right, so thank you, Robinhood, for that. Another thing, Robinhood made trading accessible for people like you and me. Right? People are home, right? Stay at home order. People are down on YouTube rabbit holes. They're learning how to trade. They're on these groups like these. They're learning, they're teaching themselves, and they're able to buy and sell stocks without having to go through loops and holes and go through all of the traditional stuff that they would normally have. So Robinhood changed the game in that aspect as well. They made it accessible. They made it easy, right, for traders like you and me to start trading. However, they're very shady about the way they do business, number one. Number two, they're not transparent about how things work. Number three, and they do not have security measures. Back in 2020, when everybody was ready to buy the dip, I promise you, if you were in Robinhood, you did not buy any dip. The very next day, you were not able to buy the dip. You were not able to do those things. So when security measures are iffy in a brokerage account, that's when I stay away. All right. I don't mind. I do have a Robinhood account. It has $0 in it. The only reason why I even opened it was because I wanted to trade crypto on it. But I found other platforms that I can easily trade crypto on. That's another live for another day. All right. So that's why I stay away from Robinhood. Number two, Robinhood only allows you to buy and sell stocks and options. Okay. And recently ETFs. Before that, you couldn't trade ETFs on Robinhood, but recently ETFs. Right? You can't buy bonds. You can't buy gold and silver. You can't buy commodities. You can't buy anything else. All the other asset classes you cannot buy on Robinhood. You can't open a Roth IRA. You can't open a traditional IRA. You can't open a college savings, a custodial account. You can't do any of that stuff in Robinhood. So if you're looking to build wealth, right? If that's the key, if that's why you're trading, if you're looking to manage a multiple six-figure portfolio, why have it somewhere that A, is not transparent about things work, B, has crazy security measures, and C, doesn't have the diversity of products that are gonna allow you to diversify your portfolio, right? Some of you guys are happy to be able to buy and sell stocks, but eventually you're gonna want to be able to dabble into other asset classes like bonds, right? Like futures, right? Like foreign exchange, the foreign exchange market, all of that, or even have tax advantage accounts. Right? The brokerage, you only have one type of brokerage account with Robinhood. That's it. You don't have Roth IRAs. You don't have IRAs. You don't have managed portfolios. You don't have any of that stuff. You don't have why? Why even put your money that you're gonna build an entire build a portfolio that you're gonna pass down to your kids? Why have it on an app? Right? You want to have the security of an investment bank. You want to have the diversity of an investment bank. And you also want to have the tools that are available with an investment bank. So some of you were asking me, what are some alternatives to Robinhood? All right. The first alternative, you guys already know, TD Ameritrade, baby. I love TD Ameritrade. Every student, all of my students on here, I know half of you guys are on here. You're always on my lives, right? How easy is TD Ameritrade? TD Ameritrade is super duper easy, and you have a plethora of tools. You have an education center. You have a beautiful charting software. So TD Ameritrade is partnered with Thinkorswim. So Thinkorswim is a platform, just like Robinhood is a platform. But the Thinkorswim is tied to an investment bank. So you're able to get the ease, the easiness, right? The easiness of being able to trade, but you also get all the perks of working with an investment bank. Another one is Charles Schwab. Easy, easy, easy. Open an account is free. You don't have to put any money in there. Obviously, if you want to buy stocks, you got to put money to be able to buy stocks, right? All of that. Fidelity is another good one. They have their own mutual funds. They have their own ETFs out there. They have robo advisors. They have brokers at your service. If you have a question about a stock, you can literally call TD Ameritrade or Fidelity and say, hey, I need you guys to call me anytime that there's a new stock out there. Or I need you guys to send me an email whenever some news is going on with Tesla. Or whatever the case is, right? Maybe you don't have time to research. Maybe you don't have time to go down that rabbit hole and go through Yahoo Finance and all that jazz, right? You can call them and say, hey guys, can you tell me about the health of the company? Can you tell me about the health of this? Okay, I'm looking at these 3 stocks. What are the pros and cons of being able to buy these 3 stocks? You have all of these at your disposal for free. For free 99, free. You don't have to pay any of that. You can call your broker, talk to a broker. You don't know what you're doing. Hey, I'm thinking about a few healthcare stocks, and I'm looking at Johnson & Johnson. I'm looking at United Healthcare. I'm looking at Pfizer. All right, can you tell me about these companies? Can you tell me about the profit and loss? Has the profits risen in the past few days, in the past few quarters, right? If you don't want to do the research, you have those people there to help you for free. For free. So why are you wasting time with Robinhood? Okay? Put your play money in there if you want to buy some cryptos, have some fun with Robinhood. But if you're building a portfolio, right? A lot of you guys are starting with a couple of thousand here and there. So you're not able to see where you're going because you're focused on where you are now. You're focused on your little 2,000. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't have said little. That is a lot of money. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude. You're focused on the little bit of money that you have right now, and you're not focused on the money that you're going to make, right? Because you're all here. You're not here to handle a $2,000, $5,000 portfolio for the rest of your life. Nobody's here for that. Right? So you're here to build a 25,000, 50,000, 100,000, 250,000, $1 million portfolio. That's what you're here for. So think ahead, plan for that $1 million portfolio that you're going to have. Make sure that you're in the tax advantage account so that you're not paying 30%, 20% taxes on your $1 million portfolio. Make sure that $1 million is going to be secured and that Robinhood is not just going to come in and take shares out of nowhere. Right? You want to think about these things, right? Think about maybe when you reach $1 million, maybe you want to start buying some bonds out there, or maybe some gold and silver or oil, right? You want to invest in other things. Think about that, right? Don't just think about where you are now. Don't think about your small account now. It's fun, but think about your $1 million portfolio that you're going to build. Right? Or type in a 1 if you guys are here to build $1 million portfolio. Type in a 1. All right, where are you guys? Type in a 1 if you're here to build $1 million portfolio. Type in a 1. All right, how many of you guys are here to build $1 million portfolio? Okay, so when you're building $1 million portfolio, you gotta be able to protect. Okay, you have to be able to protect your $1 million. It's not all about, ooh, I just made $1 million. I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. Ooh, yeah. No, you got to be able to protect it, and you got to be able to keep it too. You don't want Uncle Sam coming up. Hey, I see you made $1 million. Yeah, you owe me about $40,000 in taxes, or whatever it is that you owe, right? Or you owe me about $400,000 in taxes. That's the last thing you want. So you want to be able to think about these things, guys. When I say I'm not a fan of Robinhood, it's not because they halted trading. Get that out of your mind, guys. It's not because they halted trading. Everybody halted trading. They had to because the SEC told them to, right? It's the way they did it. It's the execution that was the issue. right? Taking away shares or allowing people to sell at a lower price than it really was worth. So I think GameStop was like $300. If it's at $300, I should be able to sell at $300, not $200, not $100, not anything you came up with out of nowhere. I need to be able to sell it at the market price. But Robinhood was not allowing that. Okay, so all right, guys, any questions? All right, so that's pretty much it. This live was not announced. I just wanted to clear it up because a lot of you guys were sliding into my DMs and asking a whole bunch of questions about Robinhood. And I'm like, guys, it has nothing to do with the fact that they halted trading. Everybody halted trading. Everybody slowed down. This is not the first time this has happened, okay? This is not the first time this has happened. This happened back in 2020 when people were panicking and selling. The SEC stepped in and said, y'all need to pump your brakes because everybody's panicking and y'all need to stop it. Okay, so trading was halted back then too. It's all for your protection. What the problem is with Robinhood is the way they did it, okay? All right, cool. So any questions? Any questions? It's a bet that extremely risky. Exactly, Sharon. Okay, I'm looking for questions. You guys are tagging people. Retail traders, let's go. What's next? That's right, Marie. Okay, Mapsu will be Nuhud, will be B. You guys are funny. I remember doing that years ago with E-Trade. Paid so much in fees. Exactly. Yes, exactly. So every time, yes, love, every time you had to buy a stock, you had to pay commissions. But Robinhood took that away. They came up with the whole zero commissions. All right. You guys are tagging people. Customer service is really great. Yes, Sharon. How you feel about Webull? Webull is another good one. The thing about Webull, okay, yeah. Go ahead. Go with Webull. Yes, Webull is good. Just started with them. What should I do? Who's that? Girline? Who's them? Okay, hello. Great advice came out of Robinhood months ago. Yes, good job. Free 99. Exactly. All right, I'm looking for questions. Make sure that loot is secured and insured. Yes, exactly, Crystal. Yes, it's not about the money that you have today. You want to plan for the future. If you're planning for retirement, you want to take a look at your taxes, tax advantage accounts. If your plan is to save for your kids, you want to be prepared for that. Don't be so focused on where you are today and forget about where you're headed, guys. Because that's what's happening with a lot of you beginners investors out there, is that you're so focused on the money that you have today, and you want to manage the money you have today, and you want quick gains. You want to make that quick money, but you're forgetting about the next day. What is the sense of making $20,000 in a day if a year from now that $20,000 is gone? What was the point of even making $20,000? Right? If you're making $20,000 on a lucky trade that you did, but the next day or the next week or the next year or 5 years later, it's gone. What is the point? Why are you even here? Right? The point is that it's not about how much you make, guys. It's about how much you keep. All right. I'm not going to go build $1 million portfolio just to be taxed and have to give half of it away or 30% of it away or 20% of it away. Right? You want to think about these things. All right. What else? Thank you. You rock. Thank you. How do you get out of Robinhood? Okay. Good question. Sorry, guys. I'm outside. And this guy with his motorcycle. I hope you guys can't hear that. Okay. All right, cool. So how do you get a Robinhood? So what you can do, all right, pick your brokerage, do your research. Call Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, go on their website, look at their products, look at their services, look at their programs, look at the tools that they have. Make your decision. Let's say you decided on TD Ameritrade. You're going to open a free account with them. Free 99, free. Okay. You don't have to pay anything to open an account. Okay. It takes about 10 minutes. Open an account with them. Call their customer service and say, hey, I'm a new customer. I've got some shares on Robinhood. How do I transfer it to you guys? That's it. Easy. They tell you exactly what to do. They send you whatever paperwork you got to sign, whatever you got to do, because everybody's different, right? They send it to you easy peasy. Within 3 to 7 business days, you're good. You've got everything transferred. You don't have to sell anything. You just literally transfer it. Same thing with Cash App, guys. A lot of you guys are trading on Cash App. Would you trust $1 million on Cash App? All right, there goes your answer. First time joining your live. I love your energy. Thank you, Daphne. Wait, why don't you tell me you were going live? Sorry, guys, I'm sorry. This was an impromptu. I literally got like 10 DMs about the same thing with Robinhood. And I was like, you know what? I'm about to go live. Robinhood manipulated the sell price. Yes, Michelle, absolutely. I didn't want to go too deep into that, but yes, they did a lot of manipulation. They were robbing from the rich and not giving back to the poor, like Sharon said. Yes. Would I get my money back? Okay, you're not selling anything. If you're transferring from Robinhood to something else, you don't have to sell anything. You literally just lift your portfolio and put it in another brokerage. Literally, you lift your portfolio and put it in another brokerage. There's no selling, there's no losing, none of that. Okay, she said she's getting lots of inbox, so she went live. Yeah, thank you. Getting ready to start planning for the future. How do I start investing? Ginu, go ahead and enroll in the Complete Beginner's Guide to Stock Market Investing. Okay, guys, I designed the course just for people like yourself. Is it possible to transfer from Robinhood? Yes, absolutely, who's that? Loretta. Yes, absolutely. We need to connect. My husband and I are learning a lot from you. Yes, Precious, that's what I'm talking about. I need guidance in starting. Okay, guys. Those of you who want to work with me, I'm going to put in my scheduling app, my black-owned scheduling app. Yes, I'm using a black-owned scheduling app. Hey, black-owned doing business with black-owned. I love it, right? And I'm going to put it in. Just go ahead and schedule your free 20-minute session with me. We will talk about strategy. Come with questions, right? A lot of you guys are scheduling with me and you have no questions. You just want general information. Guys, there's a lot of free general information all over the internet. So come to me with questions, please. Okay? Awesome. I need guidance. I just started with Robinhood. Okay? I would love to have a study partner. I only value invest. Let me know. I'll slide in my DMs. Yes, Cynthia. By the way, Cynthia, I'm going to make you a moderator in the group. Okay? As you guys see, there are a couple more moderators because this group grew out of control and I don't have time to sit here and look at every post and answer everybody. So I have a few moderators. So Cynthia, you are amazing. You are humble. I love your style. So we're going to make you a moderator. Okay? What's the difference between Acorn and Robinhood? Different app, okay? It's just like what's the app? Like Tinder versus Plenty of Fish, right? It's just a different app, okay? Nice. Same with Fidelity, blah blah blah. Okay, thank you. I wanted to know how to transfer stocks. Perfect. John, let's transfer to okay. Yes. Congrats. Okay. Do Ameritrade charge a fee when you're buying a stock? Remember what I said. Robinhood came. My earring fell. Sorry. Remember what I said, right? Robinhood came and changed the game. So everybody and their mom had no choice but to charge zero commissions. Nobody is charging commissions anymore. All right. Robinhood did that. Thank you, Robinhood. That's one good thing they did. All right. They got rid of commissions. So everybody had to go to zero commissions, right? You will pay commissions though for options. All right. And even on Robinhood, if I'm not mistaken, I don't use Robinhood, but with options, you do pay very, very little commissions. Okay. Fidelity gives you back the 75 transfer fee. Just ask. Katiana Carre is my spiritual stock sister. Yes, absolutely. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. All right, hope that cleared it up, right? Invite your friends to the group so they can see this live and finally understand what the heck went on. So just to recap, okay? Robinhood, okay, first, everybody halted trading. Everyone did it. Why? Because the SEC. Why did the SEC do it? Because those Wall Street guys were losing a lot of money, and they were losing mommy and daddy's money, and and they had to call the SEC and tattletale and say, "Oh my God, we're losing money. Do something." So SEC stepped in and made everybody slow trading down. But Robinhood did it in a slick way. All right. They were manipulating stuff. They weren't doing things the right way. OK, that's what happened. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. One thing I found when transferring the platform doesn't have to stock, you may have issues. Yeah, this is why I like TD Ameritrade, guys. Charles Schwab. These are my top four. TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, Vanguard, and Fidelity. Those are my top four. Okay. Anything else, that doesn't mean it's not good, but those are my top four. TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, Vanguard, and Fidelity. Okay. Anything else, Webull, Merrill Lynch, all these other ones are great and all, but my top four are TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, and Vanguard. And I've had all four of those brokerages. I had E-Trade. I wasn't a big fan of E-Trade, but that was way back when I first started trading. All right, things have changed. I don't know what it is now, but I've used several brokerages. And my favorite, the easiest one to use, the most tools at your disposal, right? The most free resources is TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, Vanguard, and Fidelity. Okay? All right, guys. And want to transfer to TD. Thank you. Okay. All right. Well, what if I have orders pending on Robinhood? So don't rush to do this. You don't have to do this today, right? There's no urgency. Don't go, oh my God, Katiana just said to get out of Robinhood. I need to get out. Oh my God. It's not that serious. All right. Finish up what you got to finish. All right. Call the different, while you're doing your research, because you got to figure out which one you want. Do your research, okay? That's going to take a couple of business days for you to figure out which one you want, to call the customer service, open an account, and all of that. And by the time when you're ready, then you can conquer that problem, okay? All right, cool. TD Ameritrade, perfect. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. I didn't want this to be too long. All right, I want people to watch it because when it's more than an hour long, people don't watch it. And then they come to me with questions. I'm like, did you not just watch my live? I just answered that. Let me stop being mean. All right, guys, have a good night. Happy Friday. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Yes, for educational purposes only, all right? SEC, I know y'all listening up in here. Educational purposes only. I am not affiliated with TD Ameritrade. I do not get a commission with TD Ameritrade. I should, actually. I should call them and say, hey, I promote your platform so much. Y'all need to pay me, okay? All right, guys, bye-bye. Bye-bye.